Number one thing that I think of when I think about America: consumerism, credit card debt, diabetes. It's also the last pillar of freedom of speech. We don't really have that anymore in Europe.
Why does it smell like weed everywhere?
We just saw a guy smoking crack directly in front of our faces. A lot of people told us that New Yorkers can be a little bit cold, but so far everybody we've met has been amazing. Everybody's so helpful.
We're not so bad.
Gotta say, it's fascinating walking through Times Square and just seeing all of the halal food trucks, and then also casually seeing Muslims praying openly in the street. Well, welcome to New York City, everybody, and welcome to the beginning of a massive 90-day or 3-month-long trip all across the United States of America, the beginning of a brand new series. This is our first time here in New York City, and we're gonna dive in deep. Welcome to our first impressions of the Big Apple, New York City. Let's do this.
So excited, but also very tired. We slept like 0 seconds.
We slept 0. Flew here all the way from Spain, and we're in the New York subway station right now, on our way towards the World Trade Center area, or the World Trade Center line. That's cool, you can just tap your card. Whew, it's hectic. Alright, let's try and navigate our way through the subway system. Naomi is terrified.
Not really terrified, I'm just like, I don't like things that look dirty.
Saw like 5 rats already. So the third and final train that we needed to take. This is a bloody exhausting day, guys, I'm not gonna lie. We needed to take the Jamaica Air train, then F train, and then now an E train. We finally made it. East Broadway and Rutgers Street. I've got to tell you, subway experience, pretty terrifying. First impressions of it, it's, as you can see, it's kind of like very eerie in some areas, very, very dirty. Like I said, lots of rats, but it is, I guess, like a real raw first look at New York.
We keep kind of getting like haunted vibes.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you're in the Joker movie, like, you know, like the Joaquin Phoenix. That's what it feels like.
Good morning. Last night we just absolutely crashed because of the jet lag that we had, but now we're ready to explore New York City for the very first time and also show you our hotel room quickly here. We're actually located in Chinatown and we got a twin room, but this bed is sort of large enough for both of us to sleep in. That's why we actually took this just for our laundry, because there is no closet available here. And we are paying, I believe it's $140 US, including city tax, to be in a pretty good location in Chinatown directly, and a very nice view as well out of the window here. As you can see, it's pretty snowy and cold outside. And this is our small but okay bathroom with a very strange bathtub that is sort of the height of my hand, I want to say.
First things first, let's grab some breakfast. Right guys, welcome to the Lower East Side of New York City. We're actually in Chinatown, believe it or not, of all places. This is the hotel that we picked, Hotel Richland. Not a bad spot. In terms of value, you can't really go wrong. Particularly here in Chinatown, or at least that's what we've been told. This is the area that you come to if you want to be pretty central in Manhattan and you don't want to blow your life savings on a few nights in a hotel. $140 though is still pretty steep for us coming from Southern Europe, where we flew from in Spain, so it is steep, but not bad. Check out the snow, by the way. Doesn't look too bad here, but when we arrived last night, it was tough, particularly getting around with the luggage. And a lot of it is like slush as well, so you definitely need to come prepared. We luckily have some Gore-Tex boots with us from our time not that long ago in Poland, and they've been doing us pretty well so far.
Lots and lots of sanitation trucks around New York City now that everything is melting. Because obviously now that the snow is melting, all of the garbage is sort of getting revealed on the streets that had been completely covered by snow.
Gotta say, it's really fascinating to walk these streets here in Chinatown. Movies like Rush Hour 2, The Godfather 2, Gangs of New York, parts of that film. So many different movies that I grew up with were filmed in parts of New York. New York is just basically a very mystical place for me. If you guys are new here, by the way, Naomi and I are quite literally the starter pack when it comes to American migrants. So my name is Luke.
My name is Naomi.
And I'm from Ireland, entirely Irish.
And I'm half German, half Italian.
The types of videos that we make basically focuses on a lot of things that typically media won't focus on. So we just did a whole series covering the issues in Europe regarding things like economic situations, housing, migration, and all of that good stuff. And we're going to be diving in as deep as we can here in the US as well. Some similar topics. This video is a little bit different. It's going to just be basically a first look at such an incredible and important city in America. But from here on, we're also going to be diving deep into a lot of those topics as well here in the US. Okay, so this is pretty sort of poignant, I guess. Looking at New York online, a lot of times people talk about the trash management and stuff like that. It's definitely an issue here, and it's very visible throughout certain areas so far for us anyways. And there seems to be a diner just up here, so let's check it out. Hopefully it's a real proper American diner and we can get our first diner breakfast experience here. Tria Diner.
Pearl Milling, formerly Aunt Jemima. Really small there on the side.
So sad.
I always thought people bought that syrup because it was Aunt Jemima. Wasn't that like the quality?
Cancel culture. So it used to be Aunt Jemima syrup, but apparently that is racism. Chocolate chip pancakes and just black coffee as well.
You want milk for your coffee?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Just have a look at this, by the way. This is exactly how I picture American diners to look like with the boots. This is how they are depicted in Ireland, for sure, and in all of the like American movies. So this is like next level exciting for us right now. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Let's go.
We got our coffees.
I feel like everything we know is low-key from the movies, so it's like all of our bias that we have coming here is from the movies and from probably recent negative news about New York, so it's like the combination of those two. It's going to be an interesting day.
New York has a mayor now, Zohran Mamdani, who is a Muslim, communist, socialist, if I'm getting that right. But yeah, the movie references are real here. Every time I look up at a building, I'm just waiting for Spider-Man to swing by. Thank you very much.
It's like,
oh my god, that's like 10,000 calories right there.
diabetes.
Diabetes. I'm gonna be honest, guys, I don't even know where to start with this. The portion sizes here are really something different. Coming from Europe, where the majority of Europeans have a cigarette and a coffee for breakfast, this is different. Let's try it out. Whipped cream, chocolate chips. Oh man. I'll go with a relatively small one. Get some whipped cream on there. That's serious. Very sweet, but it's to be expected. I ordered chocolate chips for a reason. Well, I think it's going to give me the fuel that we need. New York is a city where everybody walks. You either walk or you take the subway. The taxis here are very expensive, and the city in general is very expensive. So because we're going to be doing a lot of walking, I think this is the best way for us to kickstart the day. Here.
That's a lot of whipped cream.
Oh.
Oh wow, it's very sweet, but it's nice.
Yeah.
Do you want to put some syrup?
I might add some maple syrup on as well. Some Aunt Jemima. I'm going to call it Aunt Jemima just.
I don't think it's actual maple syrup. I think it's just sugar syrup.
Oh, okay, sugar syrup, whatever.
It's very tasty though. It's good.
Not bad.
I, by the way, ordered the New York NYPD wrap, which is like sausage and cheese and egg and so on in a nice wrap. Oh, that's beautiful. Nice and juicy and beautiful egg. The sausage meat as well. Amazing. Oh, and potatoes are in there too.
Oh, so it's like
It's
a
very
proper,
good.
it's like a breakfast burrito.
Right in the middle. That's actually really good.
Yeah. I think you made the right decision.
I was for a second, I was like, oh, I could have ordered pancakes, but I'm actually really happy with this wrap. It's really good.
I love it. NYPD wrap, chocolate pancakes, and then we're going to be back on the streets. Here you can get a look at what the snow is actually like. So there's literal snowstorms every couple of days at the moment here, and stuff is just getting buried. But thank God for these people here and for these big sanitation trucks down the street, because they are cleaning the streets up. And I think Manhattan is probably a priority when it comes to snow clearance, because it is the place that attracts the most tourists. Have a look at this, by the way. There's like 500 pigeons. That NYPD car is getting blasted with pigeon poop right now.
By the way, I was just pointing out the inclusion there of Chinese, English, English, Chinese. Unfortunately, but some of the places here are doing a really good job with putting both languages onto, for example, this specific Lutheran church here has English and Chinese, but then some other businesses which you can see along the streets here in Chinatown obviously are not doing the same. America is putting in so much work in order to integrate everybody, and then that same service is not appreciated in the way that it's also sort of given back to the people that might not be part of the community.
I think when Naomi and I have kids, this is the top that we're gonna have to get them. Mommy's little meatball. Every time I see these yellow buses, particularly the yellow school buses, my head just automatically goes, The Simpsons. Oh, check this out. 4 for $5 for an orange. That's not bad here. Some interesting trucks, completely sprayed up, but we've got an open air fruit market just here in the center of Chinatown. Really cool. Skyline of New York is just iconic, man. Every single thing that I'm looking at, I'm just like, oh, this is what I thought when I thought about coming to America. But then you look down below and it's the cleanup with the snow and with what Mamdani is doing is not great. People slipping and falling and garbage, and there's a lot going on. This is Canal Street, which, by the way, shout out to Nick Shirley, Sweeney. These guys are doing their best to expose a large group of illegals that are selling things illegally all along this street and taking money out of taxpayers' pockets. Figured that we would actually check it out. Beautiful weather, beautiful sunshine, so I'm assuming there will be some of them out. This guy is one of the illegal sellers because he's walking around with an actual case. And then next to it you have the guys that are actual storefronts. They're paying taxes and they're actually doing things legally and doing it the right way. I can't imagine how bad the people that are paying the taxes and running their stores properly and being here for years, and then they see this development of illegal settlers basically on the street. Oh, good. Thank you.
What kind of purses you have?
Sorry? Ah, okay. Yeah, she didn't want to be on camera. And that tells you straight away that what they're doing is illegal. There you go. I didn't expect this stuff on the streets of New York City. Like, this is crazy.
Sort of in the back rooms of these stores, they're selling plagiarized handbags. He's having Apple products and such.
All of them are just clustered around certain areas. None of them want to be on camera as well. Crazy, they're in like doorways. It apparently goes on and on and on as well, like all the way down the street. All just standing around, just waiting for people.
45.
And they're hiding all of their goods as well, so they have them stashed, the goods are stashed away, trash bags and everything else like that, out of sight. And if the police are close by, if the police roll by or the police are stationed somewhere close to where they are, they scatter immediately. You can see them just disappear. It's just horrific. You guys shouldn't accept this on the streets of New York.
They also don't seem to be African American. They sort of seem to be newcomers to the country. Sort of when you hear them speak, it doesn't sound like an American accent.
Most of them don't speak English even at all. Yeah.
It's actually a lot more than we thought it was. People selling on every single street corner here, bringing tables, bringing all of that, and now they're putting everything away quickly. Somebody warned them probably that there's the police. Yep. By the way, if you are a tourist, obviously anywhere, but specifically in the US and Australia, if you buy something like that and if you're found to have bought something like that, you might actually get a fine as well, be deported, be excluded from the country. I don't think that there's prison time if we're being honest, but it will for sure not end well for you. So whatever you do not get involved in these types of situations. Just stick to the official shops, and if you don't have the money for a Louis Vuitton purse or something like that, then you have to go to Trader Joe's and buy yourself a purse there. That's okay as well.
You can get a MirannVanity t-shirt if you want to get a t-shirt of the guy that is destroying New York City on a t-shirt if you want. Aye. Legends never die. Hey, fight.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas in New York. Merry Christmas.
February.
It's February, but that's cool. So we're in Little Italy now. Became Little Italy, or known as Little Italy, due to the immigration from Italy, the 19th century, 19th, 20th century as well. It was apparently a lot bigger than what it is today, but it is sort of gradually being sort of swallowed up a bit by the neighbouring Chinatown. So I think both of these areas are kind of competing for space. So you do see like there's a dim sum, like hot pot restaurants and stuff right next to like pizza places and typical Italian American places. The selection of restaurants, the flags, the Italian flags, really beautiful. Very nice area.
Funny that we are in Little Italy, but you can still smell the mala spice from Chinatown. It's kind of weird. It smells like China here, but we are in Little Italy. We are in St. Patrick's Basilica, and they have this little old cemetery directly outside of the church, and you can actually see some American flags here in the cemetery. It's so patriotic. Even though I'm not American, it makes me feel like, yes, patriotism. Very difficult word.
Wow, so that was a quick little look inside of Old St. Pat's Cathedral here in Nolita. It's incredible to see that. Such a beautiful cathedral, just slap bang in the center of Manhattan. Like all of these high-rise buildings, and then you just casually have a cathedral from the 1800s, like the early 1800s, designed by the same guy who designed New York City Hall. And that very cathedral would have served many poor working class Irish and Italian Catholics that came over here to New York City. So that was amazing to step foot inside of that little piece of history here in Manhattan. Wow, look at that. Look at that for a building. It doesn't get much more New York than that. These buildings with the outside fire escapes, they just look so typically New York City.
And there's a guy in the back. By the way, we saw lots and lots of videos online about the amount of garbage, and you can sort of see it in the areas where the sanitation crew hasn't come through yet. Like there's lots of garbage, but it's not like human height type of garbage.
There we go. I was waiting to see this flag, the Irish tricolour, right next to the beautiful US flag as well, no less. Over there is Downing Street. Thankfully this Downing Street doesn't have Keir Starmer down it. Well guys, we made it to the West Village. If you cannot tell, everything is rainbow coloured, everything is progressive, everything is liberal, and the trash has pretty much doubled. Everything is inclusive, and a huge reason why New York has the reputation that it does for the crime and for everything else, including the trash and including all of this other stuff, has to do with a lot of what you're seeing flag-wise. But this here is the Stonewall Inn, and this actually I think is pretty significant in the time frame of LGBT and of Pride and of all of that stuff. There was riots to do with of gay pride and all of that good stuff. I have to say the West Village though is quite nice. Some very beautiful buildings and beautiful doggies too. Everybody's just out walking their dogs. It seems like a real chill area to be, but probably one of the most expensive areas to be in as well, I'm assuming. I don't know. Malcolm X Boulevard, and just over this way is Harlem. But we're gonna go, man, crossing the street here, it's like an Olympic sport. Whew. We're gonna go and check out Central Park, because what would a trip to New York City be without Central Park, right? And this just looks like a mountain of snow. Oh look, this is the Mir, Harlem Mir, and it's completely frozen over. Wow, look at that.
I think the geese are having street fights here.
These are Harlem geese. These aren't Canadian geese. They're from Harlem. I'm walking here.
Do you think that they speak like Kirk?
Oh, I'm walking here. How you doing? How you doing?
Excuse me, sir.
These are New York geese. What way is it to go to Little Italy? Excuse me. Hello.
Oh, yo. He nearly drove over the geese.
Oh, check this out. Davis Center here in Central Park is an ice skating rink. Perfect place to people watch. And by people watch, just wait for people to fall on their face.
Oh, whimsical.
Check this out. I have to say, first little look here at Central Park, this place is beautiful. It's like a little winter wonderland in the center of Manhattan.
The water is pretty clean.
The water looks very clean as well.
For being in a city?
For being here in the center of New York. And it's so quiet, like listen to this. Perfect place to just come and disconnect, I guess. If you live here in Manhattan, come in here with a book, sit on a bench, completely disconnect from the chaos of the center of the city. We even got a waterfall over here. Gorgeous. Oh, close.
Close to what?
Then you can
Tree. We're on the Harlem side.
Yeah.
We figured we would just make our way through the whole park, but it's beautiful.
Oh, it is gorgeous. This way, if you look on your park map,
Yeah.
I don't have it. Alice in Wonderland is a wonderful place to go by the boating pond.
Though near here, if you left, there's St. John the Divine.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
beautiful.
cathedral. It's very beautiful. It's an Episcopal cathedral.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And across the street
And that's,
from
let
it,
me just tell you, that's on 110th and Amsterdam.
well, it's
Okay.
more like 111th or 12th because when you turn the corner. But there's a great little fountain there that doesn't work anymore, but all the little creatures are designed by elementary
I'm sure
school
they're covered with
teachers.
snow right
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, and across the street from St. John the Divine is a really good Hungarian pastry shop.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
That's worth a coffee and a dessert.
Yeah.
And then if you're hungry after your coffee and dessert,
You could come back to the park or
yeah, you should come back.
I mean-
There's so much here.
yeah.
It's incredible.
There's a loop that goes around the whole park.
Oh,
That's
nice.
close to traffic.
So you can get out wherever you want.
See right
A
there,
lot of places.
right
yeah.
there.
Yep.
If you walked up that hill, there's a reservoir.
Ah,
and,
okay.
And it has, a lot of ducks and stuff.
We're here for a week. We actually, believe it or not, we're here in the States. We're doing a 3-month trip.
Oh, yeah.
So we're following the AMTrak all the way down to the south,
Great.
possibly into the Midwest as well.
Wow.
We don't really have anything properly planned, but
That's the best way.
I have a good amount of family here.
Oh, terrific.
Some of them are in Raleigh in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And further south as well. So we're visiting them.
Yeah, that's terrific.
Yeah, we're so excited to see everything. We saw St. Pat's Cathedral, the old one.
Oh, right, all the way downtown.
Yeah.
We're staying in the lower east side, close to Chinatown.
Toward the zoo?
Yeah.
I don't suggest the zoo, it's a little but there's a clock that rings every half hour, an hour, and the little animals go around.
It's like
on a
little
nice
bridge, and you see the
the animals.
But you have to be there at the right time.
Yes, yeah. Today we're using mostly just to see Manhattan as much as we can, and then the coming days we're going to go to Queens and the Bronx and Harlem and
crazy place.
So
we were just saying that.
You haven't gone all the way down to South Ferry and...
Not yet, no.
Okay.
No, we've only seen the bits of the Lower East Side and up here. This is it. We only arrived yesterday.
You're doing good.
Yeah, our legs are already starting to feel it. I'm from Dublin. Yeah, capital city. It's so much smaller than here.
Just imagine, whatever you see will be new to you, so
Yeah.
you're perfectly happy.
That's very, very true.
You won't know what you missed.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
you come back again.
Thank you so much for your help, guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So good
A lot of people told us that New Yorkers can be a little bit cold, but so far everybody we've met has been amazing. Everybody's so helpful.
We're not so bad.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
God bless. Bye bye.
I feel like because of how much buzz New York gets sort of in the movie industry and on the television and so on, that a lot of people actually have a really high expectation before traveling to New York. But because there was so much negativity recently, especially in the international news about New York, I sort of came here with zero expectations. I was kind of actually preparing myself to be having a bad time, if I'm being honest. And I think that was exactly the right thing to do, because now that we're here, I'm actually having a really not bad time at all. I'm kind of enjoying myself here in the city, being sort of positively minded, actually talking to people, walking around Central Park as you can see now, and all of that. And I see the negativity, like I see the garbage and all of that, but at the same time, that's really every single big city in the world. I mean, you do have to consider that it's about, I believe, 8 million people living here, so there will always be a lot of garbage and a lot of people and just sort of loud noises, sirens, honking, all of that. I don't know, I feel like I've been somewhat positively surprised about New York, if I'm being honest, because it has been very negatively portrayed in the international news recently.
Wait.
I think he's annoyed now. Finally found the mountain of garbage that is the same size as me. So it is true. I thought that the videos were always filmed kind of in a weird perspective to make the situation worse. And also you can see that the garbage is sort of halfway buried in the snow, which means that it's snow from a while ago, of course.
One thing I will say is I'm very glad that we didn't come here in the peak of summer, like sometime in July or August. I cannot imagine the smells. Oh, what's going on? In 1609, Henry Hudson sailed into what is now known as the Hudson River, claiming all of this for the Dutch. New Amsterdam was established in 1624 by the Dutch West India Company. Turned this place into a major trade hub. And then in 1664, the British took control and named it after the Duke of York. And that's how you have New York. Beautiful little piece of history, and it's amazing to stand here on the banks of the Hudson River. Huge chunks of ice just slowly floating up, and across the way you have North Bergen, New Jersey, Hoboken. A very interesting place that we definitely need to check out as well. I don't know. Selling snacks on the subway with her kid. It's really sad. What's the best exit for Penn Station? Right here. Ah, cool. Thank you.
Why does it smell like weed everywhere?
Everywhere.
I understand it's legalized, but that doesn't mean that you have to smoke it at all times of the day. Just do it at home.
Secondhand smoke like every 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, but also at all times of the day. Like you get up, I don't know, we went out this morning at like maybe 8 a.m. or something like that, and people were already smoking it. So
we made it to Madison Square Garden, Penn Station, and we're gonna walk from Penn Station to Times Square because I figured that's kind of like an iconic way to walk, I guess you could say. Penn Station, Madison Square. I know Madison Square Garden from watching WWE when I was a little kid. The different boxing and stuff like that goes on as well. And it's just one of those iconic places. Penn Station as well, one of the busiest sort of transport hubs of New York City. We just saw a guy smoking crack like directly in front of our faces. Unfortunately,
like kids were crossing as well.
Kids were crossing, families were crossing, so yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on here.
What happened to the snow? Why is it black?
And this is the glitz and glamour of New York City. This is sort of the type of stuff that you really hear about. Flashing lights, the big skyscrapers reaching up to the sky. Every restaurant is like a Denny's, McDonald's, fast food, pizza. All of it is obviously very much catered towards tourists, and all of the prices went up like crazy. Applebee's, I don't know about Applebee's, Denny's, etc. Let us know in the comments if we should try it, but from what I've heard, they're not the best. Man, it's so bright here as well. I think where we're staying on the Lower East Side is definitely a bit more chill and a little bit more interesting. This seems to be like tourist central. We're gonna go to Times Square now as well, and I can't wait to see it. It's gonna be, I've heard a lot of scammers and stuff like that are operating around there. So we'll see what's going on. The sheer density of people has multiplied like tenfold. There's the Rock.
This here just seems to be sort of 100% geared towards consumption, obviously.
Yeah.
Due to where we are, but I feel like the other areas of New York or of Manhattan are sort of more interesting to figure out, to walk around, to learn something or whatever.
Yeah.
Here it's pretty much just the lights and all of the consumption.
Yeah, the number one thing that I think of when I think about America before coming here, obviously, consumerism, credit card debt, and it's also the diabetes. It's also the last pillar of freedom of speech in all seriousness. It's one of the last actual sort of fortresses of freedom of expression. We don't really have that anymore in Europe, so on that note, it is really great to be here. Man, look at these lights. All of these are theaters where you can like go and see musicals and stuff like that. These people that dress up in costumes are really aggressive scammers, just so you're aware. They dress up in costumes, they take a photo, and then they demand a ton of money off of you. Well, there you have it, guys. The iconic Times Square. Consumerism hell, in my opinion. And like I said, the headache is increasing, but I don't know. I guess I understand the hype when it comes for like taking Instagram photos and stuff like that. It is very cool to be here, but other than that, I don't think that Naomi and I see what it's all about. The buildings, the skyscrapers, and all of that stuff. It's crazy though.
I call my daughter our little bubble.
Why are there so many mentally unwell people here in New York? He was talking to a bubble tea for like 5 minutes. Here's a monk. Dude trying to be a monk in New York City. Okay, oh, it's a scam, okay. It's a religious scam. He's handing out bracelets.
For 2 seconds you were like,
it's
oh
a
cool,
monk,
look him up.
A monk scammer. That is the last thing that I expected.
It's a new low.
It's a new low. I have a genuine question. Why is all of the food trucks halal? Like nearly every food truck that we've seen is halal so far.
And it's alright. I mean, it's okay to have halal, kosher and so on, but then also have some options for non-halal people, I guess.
Regular Christians.
I just want a hot dog.
Yeah. Some of the flavors in here are crazy. Cinnamon Toast Crunch blasted with cinnamon dust. Tabasco flavor, ranch flavored.
White girls, wet dream.
What? Garlic parmesan, pizza, cheese, more ranch. What in the red 40 is going on here?
This is my...
They have dill pickle
This would
flavored.
be my go-to.
Peanut butter filled pretzel nuggets. Got Takis. Look at this, blue Takis. You need like a hell of a lot of food coloring, artificially flavored, of course. Crazy. The selection of stuff in this is just a regular 7-Eleven here. It is crazy. There's all the hostess stuff, Twinkies and snowballs and cherry snack pies and goldfish. You know the thing that I'm noticing? Every aisle is candy. Pretty much every
100%.
It's insane.
Did you know that Shaq had his own?
Shakalicious. It's Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
That's mad. It's just his head. Gotta say, it's fascinating walking through Times Square and just seeing all of the halal food trucks, and then also casually seeing Muslims praying openly in the street. I don't really understand why they need to do that when it's freezing cold outside. It's like 0 degrees. There's also a large Hindu festival in the center of Times Square, literally like a Hare Krishna Hindu music festival happening right now. And yeah, the presence of Christianity is very much absent from Times Square and from a lot of New York City. But with freedom of speech comes freedom of religion, so if that's there in place, I guess people are open to do that stuff and no one's gonna hassle them. But it was a shock to see Muslims praying openly in the street in front of people. Haven't seen that yet in Europe, so that's definitely something different. It's kind of like a flex, I feel like a show of power. And typically, from what I've heard, a lot of times in Times Square there will be like a couple hundred Muslims that will show up, and they even will have speakers with them and everything, and do that as a show in the center of Times Square. Haven't seen that, but you never know. We're here for another few days. Perfect. All right, MSC Davis in the house. Woo! Hit it. I have to say, our first look so far here at New York City, and our first look so far of America in general, incredible.
We as Europeans, and I do have to count myself in that as well, obviously, because I'm a European. I feel like a lot of times we sort of push Americans and the country, the United States, down a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do feel like quality of life here is still pretty good, even though New York City is considered maybe one of the lesser quality cities. But I don't know, I'm actually really positively surprised.
If you're able to make some money, and you're able to, if you're willing to put in the work, and that is, I guess, the American dream. I don't know, you guys need to let us know down in the comments if the American dream is still alive or if it's long gone. But I think if you're willing to put in the work here in the US, you can make things go your way, and you can really sort of build a life for yourself. I don't know about that, how effective that is in New York because of the cost of land here, but in a lot of the other states of America, especially out in the more rural parts, I'd say it's a lot more easy to do. But man, this city is alive. That's one thing I will say. Every street you go down, it's like it's a different place, different vibe, different energy. And the people so far have been some of the friendliest that we've ever spoken to.
I also feel like life seems less grim here than in the majority of European cities, to be honest. We just literally came from Madrid, and I don't know, New York City kind of looks better than Madrid or Lisbon, if we're being honest.
Yeah. America, you guys are putting Europe, as of 2026, you're putting Europe to shame when it comes to a lot of issues. Yes, there is huge immigration issues, border issues. In New York City alone, there is over 1 million undocumented migrants that are sort of scattered throughout the city. The majority of them appear to be in places like the Bronx and Queens and a lot of other places like that. Manhattan, I think, is a bit too pricey for them to be. And we will be covering topics. We have plenty more videos coming to you from this particular area. So this is not just going to be a very, very nice look at things, but this is just our first look. So please do expect more videos coming your way talking about a lot of issues.
I mean, maybe we're going to change our minds, but as of right now, it's
beautiful.
Not as bad as it's portrayed online. I wouldn't move here, though.
Wouldn't live here.
I wouldn't live here, no.